not gonna lie, graphics and Master are reliant. Masters of Reliant.
Masters of Reliant.
Going to see my friend Quinn. Gonna get him to stop drinking. Gonna be playing 16-bit Sims. My nerd is bigger than your nerd. I don't really know, I've heard. My nerd is bigger than your nerd. My nerd is bigger than your nerd. Why did I buy this jerky? I got no teeth. Got a long ways to go, so I'll hit the street. My nerd is bigger than your nerd. My nerd is bigger than your nerd. My nerd is bigger than your nerd. My nerd is bigger than your nerd.
I don't usually say like, subscribe, or stream and buy my shirts, but lately I've been down and out, and I could use good vibes. My nerd is bigger than your nerd. I know I saw the bids. I really wanna drink right now, but Charlie's a fucking prick. My nerd is bigger than your nerd. I don't really know, I've heard. My nerd is bigger than your nerd. Whenever our nerds touch nerds. My nerd is bigger than your nerd. Yeah.
Dude! Bro! Dude!
Broski, bro.
Dude!
Bro.
Dude!
Bro.
Dude!
Bro.
Gunstar Heroes!
Whoops. What you throwing me for?
Fire button throws, apparently.
So this is jump button.
Great. Near, far, ever you are, don't you know that my heart will go on.
Penis looking fucking stalk.
Penis plant.
Penis beanstalk defeated.
This is my jam. Did I tell you this is my jam? Shoot the foot, the Greek foot.
Fucking
Oh,
karate
snap.
kicked into death. Oh shit. Fell off the
That's
edge
because
again.
you are the pony pounder, bro.
Okay, shut up.
I get entranced by the enemies, you know? I'm moving to the...
Oh shit, I'm
thanks.
sorry.
Yeah, you're a douche. Supreme douche. Stick in his mouth. Her mouth. I like girls. I like girls. Damn! I just threw you into the enemy, my bad. Did you get up on that leg?
But not with that arm there.
I died again. How do you die in such rapid succession like that?
You only had 8 life.
Oh, I see you get less life every time. Oh. Well, dude, no offense to you or anything, but kind of tired of Gunstar Heroes.
Yeah.
Probably gonna go home and play some of my games. They're kind of nerdier. They have a certain je ne sais quoi, if you will.
Dude, you don't have to go home, man. I got some nerdy games.
Really? How about we make this interesting? We'll make it like a competition, you know? I'll show you mine, I'll show you mine, and you show me yours.
Well, shit.
I loved Lemmings, but was underwhelmed by Oh No More Lemmings, which was a clone sequel, and Lemmings Tribes, which had redundant abilities. It wasn't until Lemmings Chronicles or New World of Lemmings in other countries that I noticed a significant update. Typically, I hate updates. Pirates Gold, for instance, was nowhere near as intuitive as the original. Downright clunky, actually. Lemmings Chronicles blew my mind. The music and sounds were great. Unfortunately, I couldn't find my CD and had to go with the MIDI version in DOSBox. No biggie. The sweet gameplay is still here. Gone are the days of blowing up your blocker. Free by default, you can make anyone a blocker, walker, jumper, and instead of having a list of abilities to give your lemmings, they pick up tools during gameplay. Sometimes you'll have to pick up and drop items for use later. The F1 through F5 keys are really handy, making the game smooth as butter. But there is one tiny annoying thing. Maybe it's my crappy worn out Logitech mouse. Frickin' thieves. But occasionally, I'll click on a lemming and it just won't respond. I don't think it's the mouse, cause I'll hear a clunk sound in game, maybe a little buggy here and there, but it blows oh no and tribes away. Thankfully, pressing escape restarts the level instantly, and I mean instantly. Escape. Let's go! Escape. Let's go! The hazards in this game are crazy too. Lasers, hovering faces, hungry birds. Talk about an update, and for some reason no one ever talks about it. Just plain delightful. Even Quinn can't talk smack. In my opinion, this was the last real Lemmings game. 3D Lemmings was a control nightmare, and Lemmings Paintball wasn't even Lemmings. WTF, mate?
That game is okay if you wear diapers. This is war, maggot! We shit right in our pants! Do you hear me, soldier? Sir, shit my pants, sir!
Team 17 had a long string of hits in the 90s, including the brilliant Alien Breed, All-Terrain Racing, and Project X. But they really knocked it out of the park with Worms in 1995. It's a cutesy expanded version of Artillery or Scorched Earth with minimal pixel-sized worms. I had to use the Amiga version to capture the footage because Charlie's computer was on the rag. The director's cut came out 2 years later and had better graphics, so that's the one I'm playing. I blew my nerd when I first detonated an opposing worm. You have to use geometry and precision in the amount of power you lob your shots across the screen with. Wind is also a factor, making gameplay similar to a golf game.
Skin.
And the choices of attack. Anything from bazooka, grenades, fire punch, and airstrike. And when they jump over mines and up hills or use a ninja rope to climb, you can't beat it with the Lemmings stick.
When I see this game, it makes me want to play Lemmings.
My worm will obliterate your lemming.
I think Lemmings eat worms.
Lemmings worms touched.
Yeah.
On top of its shaky camera during explosions and beautiful water effects, it also has power meters at the top of the screen like a fighting game. Everything you could ever want and more, all rolled up into its slimy little package.
Ew!
It's enough to piss off the Pope when you throw into the wind and your shot flies back in your face, or try to jump a mine and land on it instead. It is quite a difficult game to master, and sometimes it's hard to tell whose worm is whose. But despite its flaws, it shines as a masterpiece with simple controls. Arrow left right to move, arrow up and down to aim, enter to jump, space to fire. Homing missiles use the mouse to target an opposing worm, and you select weapons and abilities with the F and F keys. Alright Charlie, show me your next effing game, mother effer.
My apologies. I'm actually doing 2 games, but I'll try and keep it brief since they're so similar. Sid Meiers Pirates and Covert Action. Wow, where do you even start? After 176 pages of manuals, same designer, same mini-game styles, I've played both of these games since I was 10 years old on a Commodore and 286 PC. I still have my manuals for both games, and the original Commodore Pirates map, laminated. Booyah. This is why my footage is so baller, because I really know how to navigate these waters, and thanks to the manuals, my controls, copyright answers, and more is right at my fingertips. Great toilet reading, by the way. One has you flailing about the Caribbean with a ragtag group of scallywags, taking down ships, ports, cities, running errands, reuniting with family members, and of course, getting treasure maps and booty, while the other has you flailing around the world via jet to capture known criminals with ties to gangs and terrorist organizations with every F and F key you'll wiretap, break in, photograph documents, crack safes, booby trap doors, place bugs, gather evidence, arrest thugs, shoot thugs, pistol, machine gun, grenades. Wow, pirate sound is awful, but Covert Action is dope in the sound and music department. After a while, the gameplay might get a little repetitive, so you may want to attack a fort instead of sneaking in, or maybe you'll want to decode messages instead of rummaging through enemy hideouts.
The president have feeling. Is this Russian president?
One typo. The games do crank out infinite random storylines, so you might see some pretty twisted or just plain generic grammar. Love these games. Oh yeah, one more thing. You'll want to have a notebook handy. Often a governor will tell you that someone with info on your long-lost brother is in Cartagena, and you'll have to remember that if you don't write it down. Same with Covert Action. So many random names, places, and organizations to keep up with. Both of these games are dizzying without their maps, manuals, and notebooks. Did I mention I love these games? Beat that, cue ball.
Interplay had a few stinkers in the 90s. Castles 2, Lord of the Rings, ugh. But if that's not to your liking, Battle Chess 4000, Star Trek 25th Anniversary, and Mario Teaches Typing. Thankfully, in 1992, they released the Lost Vikings. It's an amazing puzzle game with utterly gorgeous graphics. You control 3 Vikings, each with different abilities. One is a fighter with a sword and arrows, one is a jumper, one has a shield which can block enemy fire, and can also be used as a hang glider.
This is just a platformer.
A puzzle platformer? Pirates is just a bunch of Atari minigame ripoffs hidden in a bunch of menus.
Touché.
All 3 Vikings must survive and get to the exit of each stage. I mean, in how many games can you switch characters and leave this guy on a ladder, grab the other guy, leave him on the ladder, while a third guy climbs down the same ladder to complete tasks? Pretty cool, huh?
I know a game that's similar. Mary, Kate, and Ashley Get a Clue.
I wouldn't know. I'm not a pedophile, Mr. Dubois.
It's Dubois.
Then there's the funny character animations. Beards flapping in the wind, nose picking, huffing and puffing, and even a butt crack when you first step on the ladder. It's pretty funny. If you like puzzlers and platformers, this game will be right up your alley. In between bippity-bapping your moms, I like to play a quick couple of levels. The 3-bearded men really get my brain in gear, helping me strategize all the moves I use on your moms. Don't forget to keep a notebook around to write down the passwords. Alright, time for your boring game. Probably Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego or some shit.
No, it's, Dune. Dune II, actually. Yeah, that's it.
Alright.
Dune 2 was the first game I ever paid full price for. I actually got it used for $30. I had played a demo of the game, which basically forced me to buy the entire thing. Talk about a game I played for over a decade. Even when I was playing it for this video, I didn't get bored. Blatantly the first successful real-time strategy game, and a precursor to a series you all know and love, Command & Conquer. Westwood Studios even made a sequel, Dune 2000, which was bomb diggity. There was also Dune for Sega CD, but it was junk in comparison to Building of a Dynasty.
Just seeing the game fucks my boy up. Oh.
The game was also available on Genesis, but the Dream version was for the PC. In a way, Original Warcraft has a one-up on Dune 2 since you can select up to 4 units at a time, but we're sticking with the original super successful RTS game. Collect spice, smash the competition, befriend the Fremen, kill the worms, kill and collect everything. There is one problem with the game, and it's a recurring theme with these kind of games, so I'm not really picking on Dune 2 when I say,
Reporting. Acknowledge. Reporting. Affirmative. Reporting. Reporting. Acknowledge. Reporting. Acknowledge. Underway.
Get out of my mind! Mr. President, who's the schmuck in your ear, Mr. President? The banality of it!
The repetitive sound on these RTSs drove my dad insane, but made Quinn and I super tolerant to annoying sounds in the process.
Hits me like a wrecking ball! Baby, baby, oh baby. All that she was is another baby.
Ice, baby.
Dune, 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 dune.
One other annoying thing, you'll have to constantly reselect your units, because for some reason after 3 or 4 commands, they become unselected, giving the original Warcraft 2 one-ups over Dune 2. But Dune 2 is faster and more frantic, so I say enjoy both games. But Dune 2 is definitely the nerdier of the two.
Affirmative. Reporting.
The two.
Affirmative.
The 2.
Reporting.
The 2.
Acknowledge.
The 2.
Spice bloom located.
Pulling out the big nerd. What?
Your review gave me PTSD, but cannon fodder will leave you shell-shocked. I discovered it when I was a sysop on an Amiga BBS. I was basically the supplier. I'd go to IRC chat rooms and trade games and apps with the other people.
This was about the time I was a seaman in the Navy. I spent a lot of time on the poop deck, hot bunking with my bunkmates. I was pretty whack, but not as whack as you. This is still not a strategy game.
Dude, look at those birds and that dead body floating in the river. This is a strategy game. You have to use a click strategy to move around all the trees and shit. I play the DOS version now, since it's more readily available, but some menus would have been nice. Sometimes the enemy comes out of nowhere, and you have limited units, so try not to let them get killed. Eventually you'll run out of soldiers. Point and left click to move, right click to fire. Very simple. Don't forget to hold the right mouse button to auto fire, and watch out for exploding barrels. Bitch enemies constantly spawn out of buildings, so you have to blow up the base. But first you have to snag the grenades. I told you this was a strategy game.
Hey man, when I was in the Navy...
Shut up. That never even happened. This is the shortest review ever. Sue me. What else is there to say about this explosive classic?
I can't really say I blame you, man. There weren't a lot of strategy games for DOS. While I find your review charming, it is the epitome of half-assery. But don't feel bad. I royally half-assed my footage on this next one.
Yeah, this section really is the moistest pit of the video.
Sorry, everybody!
SimCity might be the second DOS game I ever played. Though my footage won't show it, I'm pretty decent at the game. I really just wanted to show you some cool transportation layout techniques and kinda got lost in building cities as opposed to just playing the game. You'll actually want to take things slower than I did at first, reacting to your town's demands instead of stampeding into building a vacant city. As this footage plays out, make sure you take notice of the road, rail, and power line structure, because that's one thing that this footage captures well. R is residential, C is commercial, and I is industrial. These are the designations for your given zones, and you want to make sure you put some distance between them. No one wants to eat or shop next to a power plant or industrial park, except maybe Donut Liquor here.
Donut Liquor? I'm down for some shots.
The game was ported to many systems, but I've always found this to be a very mouse-friendly game. Tapping directions and action buttons to draw every section of road is annoying. The SNES version is actually pretty badass. I owned that at one point and actually still have the manual around here somewhere. In a way, this is a precursor to real-time strategy games like Warcraft 2 and Dune 2.
What is this? A city for ants? It needs to be at least 3 times this size.
He's absolutely right.
The same company actually did do SimAnt, SimEarth, SimLife, SimFarm, and The Sims, but I never played those. I've always been happy building my chisel towns.
Building cities seems... okay. Now I'm gonna show you how to navigate them and blow shit up.
Keeping with the theme.
Bullfrog's glorious 3/4 top-down isometric Syndicate was a thrill ride of cyber proportions. You start out customizing your units, upgrading their arms, legs, chest, heart, eyes, and brain. You also research weapons and tech to upgrade them. Enhanced legs speed you up, chest ups your armor. Arms, eyes, and brain upgrades will turn them into smart bots. Except for when you click in the middle of the team and they scatter, or forget how to drive and go in circles.
Aw, the big bad cyborg needs a babysitter.
Young Ghana, where's my banky?
Even though Syndicate only has a couple of songs, they are dope.
Ding 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 ding.
As you beat missions, you take over territories which you can tax and get more cash for upgrades. It's awesome blowing away enemies with pistols, shotguns, miniguns, and other weapons. Gameplay is almost identical to cannon fodder. One enhancement is if you click the enemy's head, they will die faster than leg or body shots, so accuracy is key. You can also persuade characters with the Persuadertron, and they will follow you. Man, that really is a stupid name for a weapon. Sometimes they will stop following you and you'll have to re-persuade them. They can also run out into traffic and get run over, so be careful. On a side note, you can also persuade the Popo and Militia. Sometimes you have to perform missions inside of buildings, and you can't see your units. This is probably one of the most annoying things about the game. Overall though, it's a super fun action strategy game that you'll fall in love with. Did you do that in Microsoft Paint?
If anyone watching is a fan of the tech of Trek, this game is pretty much a Ponky Duncher. Move from sector to sector fighting the Mongols and Vandals, aka Klingons and Romulans. Limited torpedoes and energy requires docking with star bases for replenishing. Just hit the question mark for a list of commands. I like it, even if it looks like Microsoft Paint mixed with a spreadsheet.
Spread shit more like it.
It's very turn-based strategy with a text-based system. I won't say it holds a candle to Fire Emblem, but you can see the counters and tit-for-tat gameplay is essentially at its bare bones the same.
EGA Trek, fuck yeah!
It's nothing like Fire Emblem, what the fuck are you talking about?
It is turn-based strategy at its heart, you just don't level up. I was playing on easy mode just to slam through it. In fact, it was a nearly perfect playthrough. This is not the case on more difficult modes, and you'll find that you can't shilly-shally, dilly-dally, or take nearly as many head-on risks.
No shilly-shallying, no dilly-dallying, let's have a drink of it now!
I regret that I didn't show the ray feature, which can wipe out everything on a single screen. It has the potential, especially on higher difficulty modes, to blow you up, as well as making it necessary to use the ray, as well as replenish it at nearby starbases. You may notice that I move around a lot. That's because I know the more successful firing angles, something I noticed no other YouTuber mentioned in their EGA Trek vids.
Alright, Quinn, you brought nothing but action games. Either pull out the big nerd or so help me out.
Dude, relax. I assure you, Charlie, my nerd is way bigger than your nerd.
You love Master of Orion? I love Master of Orion! I love Master of Orion too!
When you beat video games, how often do they call you tyrannical dictator? Tell me something, friend. Do people say you have a big ego? Do they say you have a Napoleon complex to your face or even behind your back? Well, now it doesn't matter. Who hasn't wanted to rule the world? Who hasn't wanted to rule the galaxy? Who hasn't wanted to blow up in straight genocide 3 or 4 alien races into extinction? Well, not me. But a friend I know, Bill. You know Bill. Man. Ego on Bill. I like to play as a human diplomat personally. I pretend that I'm nailing hot-ass trim across the quadrant, ranking up votes. But today, I'm showing you the Meklar.
Where the dishonored go when they die.
No, not Feklar. The Meklar are cyborg species that don't spend or require many resources, which means they can really crank out profits. And in the long run, Borg-like fleets. Today, we aren't diplomats, we aren't conquerors, we are assimilators. Starting out small, our race's lore lost to time. Who made the first Meklar? We may never know. Typically, Meklar are benign, but not this time. All I care about is making as much cash and researching enough tech to spread and envelop. The turn-based battle system takes some getting used to, and for easy battles you can just set them to auto-battle. That goes for any of the races. Another thing that makes Meklar so bomb-ass is they don't have to pay for repairs. Their automated ships and societies rarely break down. There might be an ecological disaster that sweeps through every now and then, but again, every race is open to disasters and bonuses. Some planets will be rich in minerals, and some may serve giant populations, while others may be tiny, toxic, or have no mineral benefits. In the end, you'll want to colonize every world whilst keeping your network tight. Spreading yourself out is only a good idea to establish an industry supply line near the enemy fronts during the final brutal legs of your campaign. Master of Orion is all about patience.
Praise the Lord! I am the pastor of Orion!
What a coincidence! I am the pastor of Orion!
Not gonna lie, the graphics in Master of Orion aren't that great. But that's not why you play. You play to practice taking over the apartment complex, and then the street, and then the city, and then the state, and then the country, and then all the countries, and then the moon, and the sun! Now, I'm not going to show you the whole game, but hopefully the other races will vote for me and my awesomeness before I have to, you know...
Wipe them out! All of them!
Phantom Menace reference.
Alright!
So I'm fairly certain that was the nerdiest game of the day.
Oh yeah, Master of Orion like a mother!
Ow!
You know, damn, I sure wish Josephine had been here.
Dude, what are you talking about? She's right here.
Oh, really? Alright, Josephine.
Finally, time to show you guys who has the real big nerd. You've been playing crappy Dune 2 and the obvious choice should have been Warcraft 2.
Not that StarCraft crap. That's for sissies. Besides, orcs are super hot.
The only thing I like about StarCraft is the hot guys in the competitions.
I can't tell who's hotter, Jaedong or Bisu. Hey, don't fade out on me, assholes. What are you doing? Stop that. Don't turn it off. I don't want to disappear.
Hey everybody, Charles Penn, Quinn McDonald. Wanted to come on and tell you guys that we actually really love all of these games. We don't hate any of them. These are just kind of like some skits in between, you know?
Right? I mean, I've played all those games except for EGA Trek.
I played all of them except for Worms.
So I love those games. I played them myself back in the 90s. So very nostalgic. And Josephine, she's been a real nice.
She's been helpful, very helpful.
Great special guest.
But anyway, yeah, this was fun. We'd like to do it again sometime. My buddy here,
Like our channel.
he's got a very
Like the video,
brand new
subscribe.
channel, so it's a chance for him to like blow the fuck up. So definitely enjoy the video and share it with all your friends. Share it with every nerd you can think of.
Anybody that you know that likes old video games and like nerdy shit. Subscribe, share, buy my t-shirts.
The president have feeling. Is this a Russian president?
The president has feeling. The president has feeling.
The president have feeling.
Alright, time for your boring game. I bet it's where in the world is Carmen Singh.
I bet it's around here somewhere.
Alright, time for your boring game. I bet it's probably some... Alright, time for your boring game. I bet it's probably where in the world is Carmen. Time for your boring game. I bet it's where
What in the world?
where donut liquor. Donut liquor. Donut liquor?
That's an outtake.
What is this?
Oh no.
What is this? A city for ants? It's at least 3 times the size. What is this? A city for ants? The city needs to be at least 3 times this size. What is this? A city for ants? It has to be at least 3 times this size. What is this? A city for ants? It needs to be at least 3 times this size.
Well, I watch movies to predict it. I just watch movies. I watch movies to go to sleep. No shilly shallying, no dilly dallying. Let's have a drink of it now. Your poor girlfriend. She's like, I don't love them anymore.
Yeah, so like, I first played StarCraft when I was like a seaman in the Navy. I like had semen in my face all day, you know, on the poop deck. So yeah, so like, StarCraft 2, that's my shit.
Shit in your pants right now! I knew this would have to happen.
Alright, Quinn, you brought nothing but action games. Either pull out your nerd. Pull out your nerd.
Josephine, what are you doing?